Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Lots of battling on opinions about masks. County Executive candidate Herb McMillan has an opinion piece out, and County Executive Pittman has another one, and they are both slugging it out on Eye on Annapolis and the Capitol. And a few interesting political quick hits. The Duckpin is reporting that former councilman John Grasso may be running for county executive as well on the Republican side, and former county executive Laura Newman has made it official that she is running for governor as a Democrat. Two interesting wrenches in the political works there. Check it out if you're interested. Okay, news. Let's get into it, shall we? Kudos to the Annapolis Police Department. A 53-year-old man robbed the Forest Drive 7-Eleven on Monday morning with what police say is a, quote, long knife. They saw him running from the store and thought it odd, and when the store clerk came out saying that he had just robbed the store, police were able to apprehend him. Actually pretty terrifying, and while he seems to be a bit old, the MS-13 gangs, which we do know we have here in town, tend to favor long knives or machetes. The Annapolis and Anne Arundel County Fire Departments are overworked and have issued a joint statement asking people to only call for life-threatening emergencies. They ask to avoid the emergency departments for minor illnesses, COVID tests, etc., and only call 911 when you feel it is a life-threatening emergency, chest pains, trouble breathing, traumatic injuries, strokes, etc. And a friend of mine that's a paramagic down in South Carolina posted a meme that probably sums it up pretty well. If you can drive yourself, you probably don't need an ambulance. Right now, hospitals are overwhelmed, and with the Omicron transmissibility, there is a lot of hospital and fire department staff that is out of work and isolating. Tomorrow, the pests are back in town, and I guess it's a good thing that the cicadas only come every 7 years because these politicians seem to come every single year. Yes, the General Assembly does reconvene tomorrow, and this session you want to look for legalized marijuana, crime, and pandemic, as well as probably clipping Governor Hogan's wings, which they do every session. They're returning to a semi-virtual session with live streams and separate hearings, and in the end, they're going to make a bunch of laws that Hogan will veto, and they'll be returned to the General Assembly and be overturned, lather, rinse, and repeat, as we've done for the last 8 years. But on January 1st, there were a bunch of new laws that did go into effect, and in a little bit, we do have Scott MacMullan to talk about them. Last night, the Annapolis City Council passed an ordinance to extend the state of emergency for 90 days. This will allow restaurants to offer outside dining in parking lots and parking spaces. The 90 days was used opposed to the shorter ones from Governor Hogan or County Executive Pittman, so the City Council can craft legislation that will make outside dining a permanent fixture here in Annapolis. From what we could see, there were fewer than 5 audience members there to testify. We do have a few postponements, both due to COVID. The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr Dinner, originally scheduled for January 14th, has been pushed back to March 11th at the BWI Weston. Details at mlkjrmd.org. And the 26th annual Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge for Maryland Special Olympics has been pushed back to March as well. They're hosting virtual and in-person plunges this year, and the funds raised will help to support more than 6,000 athletes here in Maryland. Register, find out info, or donate to a plunger or just to the organization at plungemd.com. And as we begin to wrap it up for today, let's do a Ticket Tuesday courtesy of Ram's Head on Stage. I have tickets to see a bunch of shows, and I will give them out randomly. Email me at info@eyeonannapolis.net or send me a DM on Twitter and tell me which show you want to see and why you want to see it, and I'll pick some winners. Up for grabs, we've got 2 tickets at the best table in the joint for Cash Unchained, which is a Johnny Cash tribute on January 27th, comedian Jeff Richards on the 30th, and sliding into February, Anna Popovic on the 3rd, Max Weinberg's Jukebox on the 4th, the Idol Kings on the 18th, calling all you 80s people, Nectar on the 23rd, We Banjo 3 on the 26th, and David Sanborn on the 27th. You want to make sure you check out all the great shows that are coming up at Rams Head On Stage at ramsheadonstage.com. Some quick podcast news. Again, if you know of some businesses that need to be spotlighted, let me know and I will reach out to them. And thanks to Dave Spieshak for all of your suggestions. I have sent those emails. All right, that's it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company, and Rehab to Perform. So now hang tight. We have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report, and it is a cold one. And we also have Scott MacMullan from Scott MacMullan Law here with the new Maryland laws that you do need to know about for 2022. All that coming up in just a bit.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
One of the most common questions we get: how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today at 410-599-1370 so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, January 11th. Yesterday brought a cold start to the work and school week for the Annapolis region, and today will only be colder before temps then return to near normal levels the rest of the week. Look for plenty of sunshine today, but with highs only in the 25 to 30 degree range, with lighter winds, occasionally up to maybe 15 miles per hour or so, followed by a fair amount of sunshine Wednesday through Friday, with highs Wednesday and Thursday in the low to mid 40s, with near 40 for highs on Friday, ahead of a weekend with highs in the upper 30s and a chance of rain and or snow. So stay tuned for updates on that potential as the second half of January looks to become somewhat active again with more snow possible for the region. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely download our app, DCMDVA Weather, from the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Are you an active adult or competitive athlete dealing with an injury keeping you from being at your best? Then Rehab to Perform is here to get you back to your full potential. R2P is a unique fitness-focused physical therapy company with 4 locations in Maryland. More like a training room and a personal training studio than a medical facility. R2P offers physical therapy for lower back pain, overuse injuries, post-surgery, muscle pulls, chronic pain, and more. R2P also offers rehabilitation for concussions and mild traumatic brain injuries. To learn more, visit rehabtoperform.com.
You never know when you might need an attorney. It could be when the lights light up on the police car behind you. Or maybe you have $1 million idea and need to incorporate. From wills and trusts to car wrecks and arrests, Scott MacMullan with the Annapolis-based Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, is here to offer some insight for you with today's legal brief.
Hello, everyone. This is Scott MacMullan, and this is your legal brief. I want to talk about the new laws that are going into effect in Maryland in 2022 that just went into effect this New Year's Day. There's 4 main ones I want to talk about. The first being the Maryland's minimum wage increase from $11.75 an hour to $12.50 for employers that have 15 or more employees. By 2025, we're going to get up to $15 an hour, slowly but surely. The second main law that went into effect January 1st, the Maryland Board of physicians will require a license for genetic counselors and establish a committee for professionals. Genetic counselors give you information on your genetics and let you know how those genetics might affect you or your family. So there now is going to be a requirement for a license for genetic counselors in Maryland starting this past January 1st. The third thing, protection from excessive medical debt for low-income residents will begin in 2022, according to this law, and protect patients making 200% or less than the federal poverty level, around $53,000 for a family of four. Number 4, the state's Department of Health will be required to provide residents with informational materials to help residents plan for long-term care. The law requires the published material to be ready by April 1st and available in English, Spanish, and any other language requested. It also requires that materials be accessible to people with limited literacy skills. So we're going to see more of a requirement for residents for informational materials for long-term care. So those are 4 main things that went into effect January 1st of 2022, this past week. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll have updates like this moving forward. Thanks, and take care. This legal brief was sponsored by Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, at 104 Cathedral Street in Annapolis. If you have any legal questions, call us 443-494-9775. Information and is not intended as advice. You should contact an attorney regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact Scott MacMullan Law, LLC. Please do not send confidential information until such time the attorney-client relationship has been established. Thank you for listening to the Scott MacMullan Law Legal Brief. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. With all the talk of energy resilience in the news recently, I'm surprised there's not more talk about solar plus batteries, especially since 1/3 of all of our new residential solar projects include a battery backup system that provides instant energy security and peace of mind. And with incentives in place for battery backup, this investment is now more affordable than ever. With financing rates as low as 0.99% and plans offering 18 months same as cash, it's now easier than ever to go solar with no money down. Financing creates an easy bill swap scenario where you replace your electric bill with a loan payment, allowing you to build equity in your own personal energy supply. Don't wait for your next power outage to act. Contact us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net to learn more about solar with battery backup. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's are wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.